So have you all had an opportunity to review?
Yes.
Are there any changes or updates?
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. So we have a motion by Councilmember Matsuda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Councilmember Harwood. Councilmember Matsuda, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Goldsmith?
Yes.
Councilmember Archuleta?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 5, which is a public hearing on vacating the road located in the Giacoletto subdivision. May I have a motion to open a public hearing?
I make a motion, we go into a public hearing regarding Giacoletto subdivision.
Have a motion by Councilmember Harwood. Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a second by Councilmember Goldsmith. Okay, we are now moving into a public hearing. I see that Jean is on. Do you want me to read in your recommendation?
Yes, and then if you have any questions, I'll answer them.
Okay, so Jean has prepared a document for us. The Giacoletto subdivision plat was recorded May 25th, 1979. The subdivision was never developed. The subdivision plat has 11 lots and a street that was dedicated for perpetual use of the public. The dedication made this strip of land a city street, therefore property taxes were only assessed on the 11 lots. Stephen Giacoletto would like to amend the plat without the street. Planning and zoning can consider the amended plat if the city vacates the street. And Jean is here to answer questions. I think what we're really approving is vacating the street. Is that right, Jean?
Yes. Mhm.
Is this the land behind the home over here by Ron?
It's that big hay field, Mallory, where
And didn't we do something with that not long ago? What did we do?
I believe Stephen went to a city council meeting because I attended it and asked to vacate the street, but he actually had to do a petition and have the public hearing, and that wasn't done at that time. That's why
So we're
I'm,
just
I'm guessing that we're doing it again.
okay. I was like, I thought we had already done this.
Yeah, we had talked about it. You're correct.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or concerns about Mr. Giacoletto's request? Okay, there being none, I would look for a motion to close the public hearing and approve ordinance 2021-2 vacating the road in the Giacoletto subdivision. Do I have a motion?
I still move.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Matsuda. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Councilmember Goldsmith. Councilmember Harwood, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Councilmember Goldsmith?
Yes.
Councilmember Archuleta?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. So we're moving on to agenda item number 7, which is discussion and possible approval on disconnection of parcel numbers 1A-0393-0000, 1A-0393-0001, and 1A-0393-0002 from Helper City Limits. So we spent a good deal of time on this at our last meeting. I don't know if we need a ton of discussion, but I'll open it up for council feedback and then entertain any motion. Feedback? Are we ready to vote? Are we ready to?
I know all of my questions have been answered.
Okay. Okay, so at this point, I will entertain a motion to discuss or to approve the disconnection of the parcel numbers as read previously from Helper City Limits. Do I have a motion? Okay. There being no motion to entertain. Am I correct in saying that? Yes? Okay. Okay, well then. Okay, so the motion dies then, correct? That's what I thought. Okay, so that motion is no longer under consideration. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 8, discussion and possible approval of the Rio Theater contract. We just received an update from the city attorney saying our changes were acceptable to West Coast Show Support's attorneys. So we can formalize what you saw, which had the red kind of track changes turned on. You know, let any discussion, concern, changes you'd like to see.
So I did have a couple questions. She did fix the term limits on page 2. I saw that on the new version that came out. Page 4, concession sales. It says the West Coast will not be selling any concessions. Does that mean we're going to have a city employee down there selling? When they have an event, when West Coast has an event?
I think that's going to be negotiated, and Kenny Driggs is with us. He's he's the owner operator of West Coast Show Support. I think that was going to be done on an event by event basis.
Okay.
And that was my understanding. If we wanted to be available to sell concessions, we could as a city. Kenny, is that what your understanding was? I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Oh, your sound's not working. Might have to try with the phone or something.
Yeah, Kenny, we're not hearing you.
In the past, Gary, we have done concessions for events, not with city employees, but with the Rio Theater Committee. I don't know if that's kind of what you were thinking, Lenise, that we would go about it that way. And
Yeah, I mean, I think we left concessions open so that, let's say Kenny wants to bring in a music act. We would have the opportunity, if we chose, to do fundraising to staff and have a concession stand. It would not necessarily mean city employees at all. It would just be, I think, more of a volunteer fundraising type event like what we've done in the past.
Okay.
I was going to say, I volunteered to sell concessions there in the past, and yeah, I think it's a good idea to just leave it as a case-by-case basis.
looks like he hopped off. He'll probably get.
So he'll probably hop on.
But yeah, and actually, like, that was the first thing I ever did as far as like volunteering for helper, and so good memories.
No,
Okay, I just-
Kenny.
I just would hate to see us, trying to hire someone else to sit down there and
Okay, Kenny, unmute your mic. Let's see if it works. Oh, dang. Still not
No.
working.
still nothing.
Yeah, no,
Try it with the number and the invite.
I don't envision us hiring someone to do
Okay.
that, Gary. Good question, though.
Okay, and then on page 8, there's just a quick statement about expenditures for capital improvements. But we don't never really get into the sound system anywhere. And I know, Council Member Goldsmith has spent a lot of time trying to fix that. Do we need something in there, or is she comfortable with these guys using the sound system? down there?
So my impression, Gary, is that part of that Eccles grant is to upgrade the sound system. But Ken knows like 10 times more than I do about the sound system, or Al for that matter. He's actually my go-to on the sound system.
Okay,
So yeah, I'm comfortable.
So when Kenny gets back on, he can tell you, you know, his background. There they are. Let's see.
Now I'm trying again.
Yay!
Can you hear me?
hey,
There
we
you
hear you.
are.
Sorry, folks.
Do you want to
This
ask
is-
him a question again, Kenny?
Michelle, let's mute you. Thank you. Okay.
So is there a question that, do you want me to speak to the concession
Sound
stand?
system, I guess, just we've had issues with the sound system down there and running it, so.
Yeah, I
Just make sure you're familiar with it.
I think that we're going to remove the sound system. The current
Oh.
sound system that's installed is probably not the best for the room, which may be one of the reasons you're having issues in the room. I think what we intend to do is remove the assets that are currently installed, and then those will remain property of the city. We can probably show some city employees the best way to utilize those. They're more of a portable system. So
Okay,
you'll
that might be
gain-
something we just
gain
use in the
some new
auditorium
assets.
then.
Yep. That's actually what's been suggested to me
Mm-hmm.
by people, is to move that sound system to the auditorium.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
another comment, that building has gremlins. Stuff quits working just all of a sudden. And I'm just kind of referring to section 26, uncontrollable circumstances. If the day of a show, there's no power in part of a room, does that cover this? That's happened, there's been no power in some of the building, part of the room. Does this uncontrollable circumstance cover that?
I believe that anything in regards to power is a maintenance issue, and I believe that it's completely controllable. So I would say that if we
Well-
come to a day of a show and we're down an asset like a room because there's no power, and it's traceable to something obvious that is due to negligence in the area of maintenance, in that situation, we may want to exercise our damages or our losses clause, which we've included in regards to any part of the facility being undeliverable. However,
Well,
if we
in
if
that,
it's a
in
freak
that
accident,
instance, in the instance I'm referring to, the wire broke in the cement floor. And we actually had to run new wire all through the ceiling. So that's
Yeah,
kind
I-
of what I'm referring to, is when something like that happens. It's not, a broken or a bad breaker, that kind of stuff is easy to fix, but it took us a while to find the bad wire in the floor.
no, I would certainly be reasonable in matters like that. That's a serious issue that nobody could have seen coming, or no preventative maintenance is going to help avoid.
Right.
So
Okay.
we're not going to be frustrated by something like that.
Gary, would our insurance cover that kind of thing if there's a show scheduled and it has to cancel because a wire went out in the floor?
Oh, I don't know. That might be a Dominique question or an insurance question.
Yeah, that'd be more of an insurance question. But with respect to the uncontrollable clause, a lot of that would be evaluated on a case-by-case basis to see what the actual circumstances were. To be able to say, like, this scenario would fit here, you couldn't do that right now. It would just have to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. Does that make sense, Gary?
Okay, that was it. Other than that, I guess I'm ready to approve.
Okay.
There's no other question.
I'm excited to move this forward. So with that said, I'll accept a motion to approve the Rio Theater contract.
I make the
to
motion.
approve.
Have a motion by Councilmember Harwood. Do I have a second?
I'll
I
second.
second.
Have
No,
a se-
I second.
have a second by Councilmember Goldsmith. Okay, Councilmember Harwood, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda,
Yes.
Councilmember Goldsmith,
Yes,
Councilmember Archuleta.
Yes.
Perfect. Kenny, so excited to be working with you, excited to move this forward. Just to give you all an update, we were trying to capture about $50,000 in grants for the Rio. We have secured 35. I should hear about the other 10,000 that's outstanding by next week. So we are really close to upgrading this facility and hopefully turning it into a revenue stream, which would be awesome for the city to have. So thank you, Kenny. Appreciate it.
Thank you all very much. We'll get to work and we will make it work for Helper. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 9, discussion and possible approval on the municipal wastewater plan. So I'm going to look at you, Councilmember Harwood, to spin us up on what's going on with
Okay.
this.
This is a municipal wastewater plan. I don't think it's in your packets. I think it got, I hope it got emailed to you. It's 15 or 20 pages long. And it's just telling the Division of Water Quality what we done with our sewer system the last year. If we had any overflows, did we contaminate any waterways? Do we have enough money on hand to do any repairs? And we just fill this out every year and send it to the state. So if you've had a chance to read it,
I didn't see it because my mayor email drops attachments, I swear. So hopefully everyone else got it.
I did not see it. I got an EIS study about the Garuli Wash project, but I did not see what you're talking about, Gary.
I haven't seen it either.
Okay, so somewhere we're not getting this. So my question to you, Gary, is this time sensitive? Do we need to move forward on this, or can we table it for the next meeting?
I think we have a March 15th approval deadline.
So we'd be okay to table and approve in March. It's just I hate for people to approve something they
Sure.
haven't
Yeah, it's,
seen. So
that's what you'd like to do.
okay. Jonna, do I need a motion to table? No? Okay. Well, we'll just table it and move on. Okay, on to agenda item number 10, discussion and our approval of purchasing pool blankets in the amount of $18,000. Gary, I think you pulled that estimate for us, and I know Michelle is over the pool, so I'll defer to either one of you to discuss.
Okay, I kind of put together the estimates. I
Okay.
requested, or I called 3 people and I only had 1 person respond. And that is in your packet. It's the last page in your packet.
Mhm.
And it's $14,300 for a 5-year warranty blanket. $16,900 for the 7-year warranty and $1,000 freight. So I
And
didn't
what
know
were
which
we
ones we wanted to
spending?
go with.
Yeah, what have
Those
we
are
been
both there.
spending monthly to heat it? 3,000? I feel like I've heard that number. Is that a good number for heating it, the pool?
I didn't hear that. Say again.
So I know the current blankets are not super great. So we're spending a lot of dollars heating the pool. Do we anticipate this would reduce that cost?
Oh
The
yeah,
heating?
when the pool's closed, then yeah, at night, and whenever it's closed, they'll put these blankets out over the water, and they're designed to help retain the heat from the boiler
Right.
heating the water. So
Gary,
we'll
are
have a
these the-
significant savings in water.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I wanted to know.
So Gary, I have 2 questions. Are these the summer or winter blankets? One, and what is the best deal money wise?
These are going to be the summer blankets,
Okay,
and
that's
you'll
what I
use them
thought.
during the summer, and we won't. During the winter, they'll be just rolled up on the those rollers up there.
Okay,
The winter blankets, what's out now and on it.
right. Those seem to be holding pretty good.
Yeah.
So which is the best deal warranty wise?
Oh, I don't never get too involved in warranties. After 5 years, we'll be doing repairs on them anyway and paying for repairs. So I think it just depends on which one we want to pay for.
Did we have this budgeted in our pool budget?
Yes, we did
Okay,
for this year. Yeah.
great.
So,
So
I mean, I'm definitely
basically,
for it. I'm just not sure whether, so if we go with the 7-year, does that mean we start making repairs at 7-year rather than the 5-year? Or we're going to be making repairs at 5 years no matter what?
I can't hear you, Michelle.
I
Let me see
said,
if
are we going to be making repairs at 5 years, no matter if we have a 5-year plan or a 7 plan? Or
Oh, no, the last blankets we had, we used those blankets on our old pool. So that's
Okay.
how old those are.
Oh, so they last like what, 30 years or something?
Well, yeah, 15. So
Because how the old pool was, or the new
20.
pool was put in when I was in high school, or after, that's like 20 years old. When did we put the pool in?
I don't remember.
It's been at least, well,
It's been a while.
20 years, close to 20
Those
years.
those summer blankets were on the old pool. So yeah,
Okay.
we
They
get a
last
lot
a long time.
of not use out of them.
Yeah.
so I guess the question is the additional $2,000 or so from the 5 to 7 year warranty, is it worth it?
Well, I'd say no, not if they're lasting 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, Michelle, do you have thoughts?
I don't. I mean, I'm not sure like what the difference is in composition between the 5-year blanket and the 7-year. So if it's like another millimeter thick, I don't think it's worth it, but I don't know.
That's about what it would be, just a little bit thicker blanket.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, and if they're not trapping the heat for the winter, these are our summer blankets, then
Right.
Yeah. So if we were to entertain the motion, we could actually approve the 5-year blanket at 14,300, Gary,
Yes.
with the freight of 1,000, basically.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions for Gary or Michelle on this?
I motion to approve the blankets at 14,300.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Matsuda to approve the blanket purchase for the 5-year warranty blankets. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Councilmember Goldsmith. Councilmember Harwood, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Councilmember Goldsmith?
Yes.
Councilmember Archuleta?
Yes.
Perfect. Motion passes. Okay, moving on, we will move to reports from council members and department heads. So Councilmember Harwood, if I could call on you to do both the public works and any updates from your council oversight, that'd be great.
Okay, in Public Works, we, cleaned up the Christmas decorations, took all them down. We did have one minor snowstorm. We, cleaned up from it, and we really are gonna need some more water. It's gonna be a dry summer. We started checking sewer manholes. Those have to be checked once a year. Every sewer manhole has to be checked. We started flushing fire hydrants. They all need to be checked twice a year. And we've started trimming trees all over town, get them out of the power lines. We had a power upgrade on D Street. Moved some power lines over to some new poles. We, for whatever reason, over the years, we've had a bunch of poles with nothing on them, just being left. So we pulled, out of the list I had, we pulled 7 of them. I have another 10 or so to pull. The steering on the cat backhoe failed, and the cost to repair that was $3,500. rear brake seal and wheel seal on the Ford dump truck failed. That was a $1,500 repair. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Matsuda.
So we had our first board meeting of the year. And we decided to have board meetings the third Thursday of every month for the next few months. And then we'll probably go every other month or every 3 months, whatever, as depending on what needs to be addressed. So it was a good first meeting. We've got some grant money left to spend. We had received some grant money last year, but then we held on to it in case we didn't know what was going to happen with COVID. But it looks like we're good to move forward with that. So kind of the big things on the top of our list is to get a security system installed and our website finished. So we're moving forward with those things, and we will be meeting again on the 18th. So,
Hey, Mallory. We just received the contract for the second year payment of the $7,500. So you should put that into your mix.
So
it was a two-year grant. Yeah. So you have the 7,500 plus 75.
You're like the money fairy. You always tell us we have more money.
That's a good thing.
Yes, it is. Good job.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, that'll go a long way.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Goldsmith.
Okay, so Jean and I did Yard of the Month last month, and so we actually had 2 people that we gave Yard of the Month to, and we did not have an improved Yard of the Month. So one of them's on Racy Street and the other one's at the top of Stack Street. So we've got that. One thing, like, I've heard from irate people about some of the kids on ATVs and motorcycles on private property, like crossing it or doing wheelies on it. So please keep in mind that, ride on the streets, ride out in the dump, and don't ride on people's property. Keith Odendahl has come up with an idea for our night sky sign, designating our helper as a night sky city. I'm in the process of writing a grant. Hopefully we'll get it on a solar system trail to go along the parkway. And then Gary brought up the question about doing historic signs there as well. So Mallory, maybe you can talk to your people on that, and I will write a grant for that next year, so we can have some historic signs to go with our solar system signs as well. And so this is for Amanda, who didn't make it to our meeting. They have 2 new assistants at the library since I think the first of the year. Their outreach program with East Carbon has been approved. They're just waiting for the check, and then they'll get started on that. And then, I think that's pretty much it for the library. And they did set their dates. I cannot remember what they were, but they're on the website. And then also one of their board members, their time was up in January and they got off the board. So I think there is a vacancy if there's anybody interested in serving on the library board.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Archuleta? Okay.
You just dropped off.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I have actually a couple of updates for folks. I would like to, in March, have our evaluation form finalized, just giving you guys a heads up. And let's get all of our evaluations done by the end of April so that we can look at our budget come May and know kind of where we're at in pay scale and what we want to do with that, because I know we've done a lot of good work there. I don't want to lose sight of it. So expect to see that as a topic in March. Last meeting, we had a lot of dialogue about crossing over the railroad tracks and doing some things. I did meet with the state historic architect about the Janet Street underpass, and his suggestion is for us to actually make that a historic, registered as a historic landmark. It was built in 1936 for $108,000. Structurally, it's sound. It needs a lot of aesthetic work, and it's really quite beautiful, the work. So we're beginning that process to look at how we can improve crossing to get to the east side of Helper. So we haven't lost sight of that. Had a good meeting with UDOT, discussed a variety of topics. In March, Gary and his team will begin to do the swinging bridge repair for the grant that we won actually 2 years ago. It's now in place. So we'll see that come to fruition. And we talked a lot about lighting on Highway 6 and just a variety of topics. So they are definitely looking at Helper. I've asked for a safety study because I think as we continue with river restoration, we're going to see more traffic on the north side. And I'm concerned about that and kids crossing Highway 6 and other things. So they're aware of those concerns. So as I said earlier, we're waiting to hear back on one outstanding grant for the Rio, and this will go to the sound as well as facade improvements, inside improvements. I'm hoping to capture about 50,000 on that effort. So I'm excited to move that forward. Again, I think we would be strategic to look at the Rio as a potential revenue generator, which is unique and something we could be doing and banking and using that money in different ways. So I don't have anything else. Are there any other topics council would like to address? Do you have anything, Chief Gelati, that you would like to share?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I didn't really have anything to say, but I got a phone call during this meeting, and it's from the Highway Patrol, and they were offering us a canine that they're getting rid of for various reasons, and we were eventually going to look into getting another canine. I know Officer Draper wants to handle it, and I know the troopers, they pay upwards of $20,000 for these dogs. So they're just willing to donate it for the sake of donating it, and I think they're an invaluable tool, obviously for what they do, and as well as a public relations tool. Whether they find drugs or find a bad guy, they're a great public relations tool. So I need to probably run that by you guys and get that approved. But I think it would be a great thing. We have a vehicle set up for it, the one I'm in right now. So that's a good
How
thing.
does that work? Where does the dog live?
With the handler. Yeah, and it was set up initially. This dog that they're talking about was working down on I-70 with one of the troopers, and it has some medical issues that's going to limit. It was a dual purpose dog, which means it did narcotics work and it did apprehension work, or the bite work. The vet's suggesting it doesn't do the bite work anymore. It's great for narcotics still. They say we should get 4 to 5 years still out of the dog, which is great. You're getting a $20,000 dog for the cost of dog food, basically. So I'll get the presentation more together for you guys and run it by you. I said I'd talk to Captain Salas later after the meeting and work out the details.
Okay.
And the only other thing I had was maybe some hiccups on the USDA grant for the vehicles that we had talked about. They're not sure. They haven't received their money to disseminate that yet.
Yeah.
And the problem that lies in there is that when I had discussed with them when they could disseminate that money, they had mentioned fiscal year, before the end of the fiscal year. However, nobody determined whose fiscal year the Fed's fiscal year ends in September, ours ends in June, and the
Mhm.
state ends on the calendar year. So they are talking disseminating the money by the end of their fiscal year. So I don't know how that's gonna, about June, July, August, that we're out 4 months more than, I don't know if that's gonna affect our timeline. I know right now I received information from the dealership that our vehicles are right now being manufactured by Dodge for us. So
Do we have to get special vehicles? Are they like specially made for police?
yeah, they're police package pursuit vehicles for the color, you know, and what we order them for. And like literally the dealership down here undercut the state bid by over $10,000. So it was an amazing deal. So I don't know. I'll have to discuss that as well with you to see if we can go past our fiscal year with the city's end of it. I don't know how
Okay.
that works. I'm still new to a lot of this stuff. But that's all I got. Other than that, new guy's
Oh.
working out great. So he should be out on his own within the next couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks probably.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Dominique, did you have anything for council? No? Okay. Okay. Well, with that said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion by Councilmember Harwood to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Councilmember Goldsmith. Councilmember Harwood, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Councilmember Goldsmith?
Yes.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all so much.